at the Battle of Stirling Bridge, just below us here in 1297. He crushed the flower of English knighthood and struck a blow for the freedom of Scotland. He took Stirling Castle for the Scots. That tower over yonder is, of course, the National Wallace Monument, built in Victorian times to commemorate that great hero of the Scottish people. But Stirling Castle changed hands back and forth several times during those wars, until King Robert the Bruce fought the greatest battle in all of Scottish history for possession of Stirling Castle. And again, just below the rock here, on the field of Bannockburn, where the Scots massacred the English army of Edward II in a one great battle that we Scots all like to remember best. The Battle of Bannockburn of 1314, where the very freedom and the independence of the Scottish nation was forged in blood and in steel. There are, of course, a great many other battles that we Scots would rather just forget. That is the one that we do like to remember. Though having won his great victory at Bannockburn, Robert the Bruce took Stirling Castle and he razed it to the ground. He destroyed everything that was here so that it could never be held against him again.
The idea is if you get close to somebody, they're pretty safe. So I'm going to attack you, just you and nobody else. I don't want to hurt you because I like you. Don't want to hurt you because I like you too. You, on the other hand, I'm going to hurt you. So we get close. Now, because I don't want to hurt these guys, you're safe. Because I can't come that way without hurting her, and I can't go that way without hurting her. So you're very safe. Or so you think. Because all I do now, bang, we punch you in the nose with that part. We then take this part, this is known as the pommel. And I bang you repeatedly in the head until you fall over. And then, when you fall over, because I'm a gentleman, I step back and I apologise. And then I kill you. So that's how it works. It's a fantastic weapon, guys. In my left hand, we carry one of these. This is known as a target or a target. Sometimes you've got a 6-inch spike sticking out the middle, which makes it quite a formidable weapon in its own right. And behind that, we carry one of these. A dirk. Fantastic weapon. Sticks out the end, as you can see. Use it in a sweeping motion. Or if you're coming up against ranks of infantry, generally they fight in 3 ranks. Wow, I've got 3 weapons. How handy is that?
So years ago I used to work in the Citizens Theatre. I used to work in the bowels of the earth. I was what was called the dayman, which is essentially the guy who did all the work plus made the sets and broke them down. One day I was doing some work down in as I say, down in the bowels of the earth. I was restoring an old cupboard, staining it and varnishing it. And suddenly it got very cold. And I looked round and a gentleman who for all the world looked like Abraham Lincoln, with the long coat, the tall stovepipe hat, came walking towards me, which was a bit of a surprise. But since it was a theatre, you're not too surprised. But you are when he disappears in front of you, which he did. So I was in a bit of a shock, and I quickly got myself upstairs and went to the reception with a lovely girl who worked there, saw that I was in a state of distress, and she said, "What's the matter?" And she said, I think I've just seen a ghost." And she said, "Which one?" And the Tron Theatre apparently has the gentleman with the stovepipe, 2 little girls, a very old lady and a beautiful young lady, and at some time or another, many people have seen these, which is probably as good a reason to visit a theatre as any. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. There was a time when other troops were invading Inveraray, and the Campbells withdrew. They left behind them a young Irish harpist, and the invading troops under Montrose murdered the harpist and left his body on this bed. The legend is that if a duke is about to die, the harpist can be heard playing his harp. The last recorded occasion was in 1949, when the 10th Duke lay dying nearby, a couple of rooms away, and the sound of the harp was heard then. And that is the ghost story that belongs with this castle.
The castle down there is not much to look at, because it's really not a fortress, it's a lookout. And the reason it's a lookout is that the Scots, the MacDougals who lived over on that that hill there, they went down there to guard for, you got lovely blue eyes, to guard for the Vikings coming. And when they saw the Vikings, they did what all good Scotsmen do. They ran up here, jumped in the water, swam across, up to that fortress there, and that's how. That's why the lookout tower is down on the south end of Kerrera.
It's a dragon, and what it is, it's the idea being it's eating its own tail or it's chomping on its neck, and this is a reoccurring theme in the Celtic mythology. Not just the Celts or the Vikings did the same thing too, and it's the idea of cycles. Time is cyclical, not linear to the Celts, and it's also to do with the seasons, like nature. It dies in the winter, it's reborn in the spring, so that's what this whole motif is about as well. Yeah. So.